From an early age, I wanted to be a lawyer. And of course, because I wanted to be a lawyer, I paid attention to the legal system and how it developed, what its foundations were, how ours is different than other countries, and how it evolved from the English system, which was essentially its predecessor. And we owe a great debt to our founding fathers at a time when you would not have expected such open-minded thinking. And it would have been much easier, would it not have been, just to have put into place the exact same system that had existed before it. Instead, they weren't satisfied with that system. They recognized its unfairness to the masses, and they devised this system, which in its true dimension and goes way beyond the jury aspects, the Constitution that they wrote, the Declaration of Independence that they wrote, the way that they set up our multi-systems with the checks and balances between our Supreme Court, our White House, our President, and the Congress, and the multiple levels of Congress in both the Senate and in the House. I mean, this is magnificence at work. And it all derived from their respect in the human ability to resolve their own problems and control their own destinies. So I'm drawn to the influences exerted by our founders, and I'm particularly impressed by their depth and wide-ranging interests. Jefferson was an architect. He was an agrarian planter. He was a man that was really well read. He had a room in his house when he entertained where he would sit in a special chair that he designed because he was an inventor, that was appropriate for his spinal structure, and with special glasses that, of course, Ben Franklin had invented. He was well-spoken in English, but he was really conversant in many other languages. He was a complex human being who had many, many facets, and I'm very drawn to him because he contributed so much. And the letters between Adams and Jefferson late in each of their lives, where they were antagonists their entire lives, reflect a magnificent respect for each other. And isn't it ironic that they both died on the same day, July 4th, only hours apart? And they had a lifetime bitterness that was resolved in their last letter when they each proclaimed their love for each other. This is very sweet, but we are the beneficiaries and recipients of a magnificent imagination of our founders. Washington's struggle, he almost lost every battle he ever engaged in, but he won the war because he never gave up. And what didn't matter whether there was enemies within, he overcame them. And he was bigger than the bickering that went on between his other generals. He was a towering figure in American history. That brings me to Lincoln. Our republic was at great risk. And it took a man with only a third-grade education and the divisiveness in government that was unprecedented, most of which was in his own cabinet. And there are many books that document that. He literally took that divisiveness in our country and in his cabinet and turned it to an asset. It helped him make decisions. It was shocking the kind of patience that he had. He lost a son, and he lost many a friend. He had betrayals within his cabinet. He had letdowns on the field, and he persevered. And he was a giant among men, just as the other founders were. When the going gets tough, we have to show the same kind of foresight when problems evolve that are modern day problems, much of which can be resolved through hard consideration, tough choices, and a good debate to ferret out the best options, which sometimes are not easy. I consider it really a very close relationship to the kinds of decision making and the kinds of courageous decisions that one must make during trial.